Herc, let's talk Copa America, of course, been awarded to the US. It will host it in 2024. Very good news for soccer in the US.
Yeah, I would say for the U.S. men's national team, for the Canadian men's national team, for the Mexican men's national team, I would also say the women's sport here as well in CONCACAF, because of everything that it entails. Not only, if we're going to focus on the men's side, these three teams, which are the hosts of this World Cup, won't have quality opposition. They won't have World Cup qualifiers, so they'll have, in a sense, glorified friendlies if they can get any that are of worth. The potential European suitors of worth, top 10 teams in Europe, are going to be in the UEFA Nations League. The South American teams will be in their own tournaments. So this is a must. It was a must for them to get quality opposition leading into what, quite frankly, could be the biggest cycle in the history of the U.S. men's national team.
Herc, away from this, obviously, it's been a big week in US soccer. Ernie, Stewart stepping down. We haven't had the chance to hear from you about this decision. What do you make of it all?
Well, the timing is very strange. Brian McBride, our ex-colleague here at ESPN, was the general manager for the U.S. men's national team. He decided, I guess, before the new year, in October, that he wouldn't continue. It was just announced. Obviously, we all know the drama that surrounded Gio Reyna, Greg Berhalter, his parents, Claudio and Danielle Reyna, and all that, and what it entailed. So the departures right now, with a pending investigation from U.S. Soccer into that incident, just makes everybody's, I guess, eyebrows just raise a little. So Brian McBride is gone. Ernie is now gone. Ernie is said to have taken the job at PSV for personal reasons. He wants to be closer to his family, who is in Holland. His wife and child are in Holland. His family is in Holland. He was here in the States by himself. PSV is arguably a bigger move than being the sporting director for the U.S. men's national, or U.S. soccer, I should say. So nobody will fault him for that. But the timing is what really leaves a lot just very curious. So now you're left, if you're a U.S. soccer fan, pundit or whatever the case may be, you've got no head coach at the time. The interim coach is Anthony Hudson, who was part of Greg Berhalter's staff. You've got no general manager. Don't even know if you need a general manager. With all due respect to Brian McBride, I don't really know what that job entailed or what he did there. And now you have no Ernie Stewart. So when are you going to get a coach? You've got to put the cart before the horse, or you can't put the cart before the horse, I should say. You should, I should say. And you got to get somebody to make a decision, a sporting director to make a decision first on the coach. So sporting director, then coach. Will it be a general manager? A lot's up in the air, and right now, fans, people, pundits are left wondering when and how this will happen.
Are you stepping up, Herc? Are you throwing your name into the hat?
Listen, I respect Stevie a lot because I don't know anybody in their right mind who would want to coach.
It's a reason.
That's why I'm sat here.
Yeah, exactly. Going back to Copa America, after what we saw in the World Cup, of course, positives and negatives. Looking at it, last time they made it to the semi-finals when the Centenario was here, Herc. What would be the expectations this time round, or are we just in a complete unknown territory considering it's 2024?
Yeah, I think this is very unknown territory, Dan. I remember last Copa America, the hype. Listen, let me just start off with Copa America. It's a very nostalgic tournament. It's a tournament with teams like Brazil, Argentina. You get names like Messi, Neymar. But by no means is it a good tournament. It's a tournament with two groups of 5, and essentially they play a tournament to eliminate Bolivia and Venezuela and then start a tournament again. So they need CONCACAF here just as much as CONCACAF needs them. And I say this with the utmost respect. This is a very attractive tournament. Last go around, U.S. soccer made so much money off of it. It was like over $100 million surplus off that Centenario tournament in Copa America, or here Copa America in the States. And yes, they made a semifinal appearance. I think they were very fortunate to do so. It was a good team. They made it. But then you played against Argentina and you see where your level's at. There was a network where everybody in that network said the U.S. would beat Argentina. It wasn't the case. This is going to be a tricky situation because this is a U.S. men's national team. Not only the U.S., Mexico itself. Mexican soccer is almost in the same identical problems as the U.S. There's been a change and restructure in the administrative roles. There is no coach in place at the moment, so there's a lot of uncertainty. I really don't know how to peg this. I hope it's not one of those scenarios where CONCACAF Nation Leagues comes about and it's Anthony Hudson who does somewhat well or very well with them, and then he's in charge for that. It really is about who you put in charge of sporting director, the head coach, the vision, the players, how you deploy that, how you think you can play against some of the top in South America that are very good. You've got a Brazilian team that is very good, Argentinian teams, obviously world champions, a few other teams there that can definitely cause some damage. So expecting them to actually make a theoretical run in this tournament right now would be very foolish.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.